Okay, I wanted to come on here and I've told a lot of you that I'm kind of getting out of teaching on YouTube carving and more discussing certain questions and things like that I have. But I thought, well, as I'm discussing this question, we can do a little. I've cut out a little raccoon here, and we can do that while we're sitting here, just like we would be sitting, talking, carving and stuff. But there's a particular question. I don't get on here and just want to answer questions all the time, but I think it's important when people ask me something, because this particular question that was asked to me is a question that not a whole lot of people do, but I have done all my life, or all my carving adventure, and a lot of people feel it's odd or it's strange that I don't go further than what I go. And the question was asked to me, Gene, why in the world what started you to like miniature work? As you can see, this is a very small little raccoon. And predominantly, the work that I do, or the carvings that I do, or the whittlings that I do, are basically all miniature. They're the characters, which means that the characters are around 3. My particular gone, just like in the courtroom scene, they were all 3-inch characters. None of them over 3-inch. They were all 3-inch characters. And you have asked me, let me get my knife here. People have asked me, why is it that you stay or do basically miniature work? I mean, what led you to just want to do miniature work? Well, I'm going to tell you that today. Now, one of the things I do want to tell you, and I want to talk to you about, is if you want to do miniature work, then you're going to have to think in the realm of like doing miniature work. What I'm trying to say is the knife is going to be much closer to your hand. You're going to have to think a little bit different, and your characters will be a little bit different than normal. And all I'm doing here is removing the tail to start off with. If you want to know why I love doing miniature work, we're going to have to go back a ways, okay? I mean a long ways. And in fact, who got me involved in miniature work? Who actually gave me the desire to do it? Well, there was a carver by the name of Jack Price. Now, I know a lot of you, most of you know who Jack Price is, and maybe some of you don't know who Jack Price is, because Jack died about a year ago, or maybe it's been less than a year now. But Jack almost lived to be 100 years old. He was almost 100, or did turn 100 when he finally passed away. And in the Jack was in the CCA, which is Character Carvers of America, and he was strictly a miniature compact character carver. He is the grandfather of compact characters. He really is. I feel he is. Now, maybe there were some guys that did some miniature work and stuff, but to me, Jack Price was the guy that to me, that was such an influence upon people in doing miniature work. And so I was wanting to learn wood carving. I had seen some carving and I really liked it and I wanted to learn it. Now, what you have to understand, a lot of you right now, is back when I wanted to learn wood carving, I mean, there just was no social media. You know, those of you that have grown up and social media is everywhere now. I mean, it's just, everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got social media of some kind. Everybody's got something, you know. And, but it's hard for a lot of people to understand and believe that I grew up in a time where, I remember as a child where we had, and I think I've told you this, we had party lines at my grandmother's house, which were, you had several people on a phone, and you had to pick up the phone and make sure that the guy next door, whatever it was not on the phone so that you could make your call. My grandmother used to tell me about that, and I remember picking up the phone one time and there was somebody else on the phone. I as a kid, I didn't realize, you know, anything like that. So there was no social media. There was none. And so I grew up in that era. Well, when I wanted to learn carving, which was back in the, I'd say the 80s or whatever it was, there was really no one to learn carving from. There was no one. And so there was only basically a few videos back then, but they were VHS videos. Now, a lot of you don't remember VHS, but I do very well. I remember 8 tracks, I remember VHS videos, I remember all those things, and that was my world when I was growing up. And they had a VHS video called Carving a Compact Character. I don't think you can get that anymore. I don't know if anyone has copies of it. Now, I'm not talking about the one where he has all his designs. I'm talking about the actual video that Jack Price made called Carving Compact Characters. He wrote the book, and he actually had a video. Those videos were of him carving these compact characters. And I must have worn that thing out looking at it. And that is what made me fall in love with miniatures. It was Jack's video that just made me fall in love with doing miniature work. And so I watched that video, oh gosh, I don't know how many times. It was just, because it was VHS, I think I just wore it out. I really did. You know, it was just, people don't realize, and at that time I didn't know that you could take a VHS tape and make it into a DVD or whatever it is, because everybody's so used to that stuff. So I watched that video over and over and over and over and over and over again, and that is where I learned to first carve compact characters, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the small character, and I'm going to explain to you why that over all these years a lot of people have felt that I haven't, you know, really gone forward very much with what I've taught and those things, and that's fine. That's good. But I've been very, very happy. Whoops, I didn't mean to hit that thing. Very, very happy in what I've done, because I have enjoyed and love carving small people. It has just been, and I think it's Jack loved carving small people. That's what he did. and I fell in love with it also. Now Jack, like I told you, Jack, Mr. Price, I had called him a few times. I'd called him up in Cleveland, Texas. He lived in Cleveland, which is about 5 hours away from me. And one of his most trusted friends was, of course, the great carver, Dave Stetson. And Dave had a real rapport with Jack. And he was very kind to Jack as Jack got old and stuff, and was just really nice to him. He was, and I appreciate Mr. Stetson, I really do, for his kindness that he did toward Mr. Price. So he lived about 5 hours from me, and I called him a few times, and he sent me one of these little things about carving. I sent him a carving and all this other stuff. He was such a gracious man, just such a wonderful man. I wish I could have known him better, but he really was. He was a very fine man, and I just loved his work and loved watching his videos and stuff like that. But he's the one that got me in love with doing it. Now Jack carved mostly 2-inch characters. He did mostly the 2-inch figures, and I tried to do a few 2-inch, and I liked doing them, but I preferred the 3-inch characters. Now he did also in his books. He said you could do the 3-inch, but he did mostly 2-inch, and that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing the 3-inch characters, and people ask me, well, why is it that that's what you enjoy doing? Well, it's very simple. I just love doing small characters. I've loved doing them. I love, you know, I think it's because you can do scenes with them. That's one of the reasons why I love such small characters, is that you can actually do scenes with them. You can, just like with the courtroom scene I just got through finished, you can do those type of things with a whole lot of different little characters, and you can make so many of them in different ways. And you don't, now just think about that little courtroom scene that I did. I had 40 characters, and the whole scene was about 4 foot long. You can imagine if you were doing characters that were, you know, 6 to 8 or 8 to 9 inches long, and you did 40 characters, how much room that would take? That would take a whole lot. These Character Carvers of America do a lot of those things, and they're, I mean, it's just, these things are long. I've seen the Full Moon Saloon that they did, it was at a place, I can't remember where that was. I think it was in Tennessee. Yeah, it was in Johnson City, Tennessee. They had put it in a woodcraft store there, and I got to see it. But it was huge. It was long. It was, and that's fine. And it was gorgeous. It was. All these talented men doing what they did. But it was so big and so long, and I can imagine having to pack that thing and going, you know. So that's why I love doing small characters. I could create a whole bunch of characters, and we could do them. You could do them in scenes, and the scene wouldn't have to be so big. You could actually do a lot of things with them. Now, because of that, you know, I was able to, you know, I was able to do my characters, and then I was able to have a good time doing things and enjoying yourself. And that way I didn't have to worry so much about how big it had to become. I'm doing, after the courtroom scene now, I'm doing a scene of shotgun wedding scene, and I'm putting that together now, and so I'm having a good time doing that, and it's going to be a lot of characters in it, in other words. So you can do those scenes and you can have fun doing them, and you can create a bunch of characters, and you don't take up the room that one of those, you know, if you were doing 12-inch characters or whatever, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, but to me miniature work is just so much more fun and so much more easy to do. So that is one of the reasons that I love to do miniature work. I've done quite a few scenes in my life of doing miniature work. I've done the hobo camps, those type of things, and it's just been a joy. And you say, a lot of people have asked me, well, you know, you just keep doing the same thing over again. I mean, you're carving small things. Well, yes, I am. But if it's something that you love to do, and that's something I saw in Jack Price. I saw a man who could do other things, who really could. He was a good carver no matter what. He could do a lot of things, but he loved doing, you know, compact characters. He loved doing these type of characters, and that is why that he gave me that love to want to do small characters. And that's true. That's what I'm saying. So many people, they do different things, and that's good. We all should all learn to do those different things. We're getting him there. In other words, as we go along, we may not finish him. Just wanted to have something to be doing here, but when you find something that you love to do, you know, Doug mentioned something. He mentioned that he was doing other things. Doug started out doing small characters, and he was doing other things and stuff, but he said he always had that love to go back to those small characters. And I think there is something when you get, now you got to understand, when you're doing small characters, your hands are a lot closer to the knife, and you risk cutting yourself. But if you've been doing it as long as I have, well, you just don't. I don't do that often, because I've been just doing it a long time. But you know, just find something that you love to do. And I think that's the whole thing. It's not so much that, you know, you have to do, but find something that you love to do. And believe me, you will like to do it, and you will enjoy doing it, and you'll have a good time in your life doing that. Even if it's the same type of thing over and over again, if you love it. And really with the miniature characters that I do, it isn't like doing things over and over again to me. It really isn't. What I'm saying is I can create different characters. And I'm sorry, it's raining outside, and it's just, there's noise everywhere. and some big truck has come by with a looks like a little backhoe on the back of it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It looks like the city maybe. Uh-oh. I hope they haven't sprung a leak somewhere. Won't have water for a while. But find something, that's what I'm trying to say. People have often thought, and people say, well, I can't stay with that. I have to go on and do something else. Fine, that's good. I just can't do little people all the time. I want to do other things. Fine, that's good. That's what Doug did. But Doug can tell you himself that he went back to those little people and he just enjoyed doing them. He just enjoyed doing them. You know? So that's all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that when you find something that you really like and you enjoy doing, it's not a chore, nor is it a repetition to do it. It's really not. And think about this for a minute, folks. Our jobs that we do every day, a lot of times it is a repetition. It is. I nicked myself there. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm paying attention to my thoughts. See? You can even nick yourself when you've been doing this a long time. And just, you know, and I'm not saying, you say, well, I hate my job. Okay. Oh, gosh. I can't win for losing. Well, and I understand that. But we actually do a repetition of our job every day. And if you love your job, then it's not a chore. And when I come out here to do my little characters or create my little things, it's not a chore for me. It really isn't. That is not a chore. It's something that I love to do. And I love to do it, enjoy it, and you know, it's a wonderful thing. So anyway, I mean, I'm able to finish him today, but I'm getting him there. In other words, I mean, he's getting. But the most important thing is to have a good time and to enjoy yourself and find something that you love to do. Because what I saw in Jack was a love just to do little people. And let me tell you something, Mr. Price was was the CCA guy, and with all these other guys doing all these fancy carvings and all this other stuff, it was Jack still doing his little compact characters, still loving it, still doing what he loved more than anything in the world, still teaching that, still doing that kind of stuff. And believe me, he did love it. And he was a very well respected, very, you know, well respected man who everybody loved. And that is what I'm trying to tell you about anything that you do. If you do it and you enjoy it and people see that you enjoy it, then they will enjoy it also. Now I said something there. If people see that you love doing something, and that's what I saw in Jack as he was doing those little figures. I saw a man who didn't worry about anything, just enjoyed doing his little characters. And by doing that, he was a respected carver and a person as well. So this is why, anyway, see my little my little coon that I'm doing, in other words. And I'm not going to finish him today. And I didn't exactly expect to finish him. But that's what I want to. And if you are interested in getting involved in miniature work, then watch a lot of the guys out there. And a lot of you, I know a lot of you don't have bandsaws. You live in apartments, you do things like that. You live in places where you can't have a bandsaw. You can't cut a lot of your stuff out. And so you have to do everything with a block of wood. Well, that's where miniature work is just fantastic. You can go get these 1 by 1 by 1, as Doug has taught you, pieces of wood, of basswood. You can get it on Amazon even. And you can carve your heart out of little people. And I think those of you that enjoy doing it will confide in the fact that it's a real joy and a lot of fun to carve these little figures and do different kinds and all this other stuff. So anyway, that's pretty much what I want to get on here and talk about, to answer a question someone had asked me. And you know, maybe I've answered this question one time before, but it's been a long time. And I wish I could say go back and watch Jack Price, watch his video and stuff. Unfortunately, that video, I don't think it's in production anymore. And if you would like to, there's a lady that basically took Jack's complete style of carving a little person, and the way Jack did it, I think she watched Jack videos and she did exactly the way that she did it. And it was sharing my art, Sharon, S-H-A-R-O-N, sharing my art. And she does a lot of miniature little people and stuff like that. And she has a video of the actual, almost completely the way Jack carves them. And you can go over there and check her out and see similar to it. I wish that I could get a copy of Jack's, like I said, the last time I saw it was on VHS. I don't think it was ever made into a DVD. So anyway, and and this is not the one. This is not. I told you, this is not the video that a lot of people sent me the DVD video. Somebody sent me. He said, "Well, I have that one," and they sent me the one that shows you all the patterns of the figures that you can carve. That's not the one I'm talking about. It's the one that he made. Gosh, he probably made that in the 70s or 60s or whatever it was. I can't remember when it was published, but it was a long time ago. And it's it's not just the patterns and shows you the different figures. This is actually him carving the full carving of a compact character, and he's showing you how it's done. And to be honest with you, the lady sharing my art, she must have learned from Jack also, because hers is just basically identical to the way Jack taught it. So anyway, that's how it's done. So anyway, and just remember, if you're doing something that's miniaturized, 3-inch characters, a lot of times you can't. A lot of people say, well, I can't get the detail that I want in a miniature character, and that is true. You can't always get the detail you want, but you can get enough detail where it is the people that see it love it. They're a part of it. So anyway, there's my little coon that I've been working on. I'm not quite finished with him, and I will. But there's the answer to the question that someone asked me about the world of miniature carving, the world of miniatures. Doug Linker, I can't tell you enough about Doug's way of carving small characters. Now, he doesn't carve them like Jack. He doesn't carve them like a compact character or such a way. But Doug's stuff is great. He really is. And his small characters are wonderful. And so he's a link to go to. There's several other guys that are very good at it. And once again I mentioned Jonathan Creason, Johnny Layton, Whittle Woods. Now Whittler Woods, he does a lot of different things, not so much characters perhaps, but small things, and he uses branches most of the time, Whittle Woods, and other small character carvers. But anyway, it's a different world when you go into the miniature stuff, but it's a lot of fun, folks. So I just want to get on here and tell you that, and share that with you, and God bless you, and thank you all for understanding why that I have stayed with the miniature world for so long. And I know I've done a lot of videos on bigger, pieces, but I've always gone back to my miniature stuff, always, because I love it. And like you said, I just did the courtroom scene with 40 characters, including dogs and humans, and I just had a ball doing it. So anyway, God bless you now. Have a good day. And that was the question I was trying to answer. God bless now.